You are listening to Wealthy Muslim Woman Podcast, episode number 50 with Saima Ali. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope you are all doing well. Things are getting much better in New Jersey from the COVID standpoint, but we are still socially distancing and wearing masks, only going to places if really needed. Like the mall, I had to visit because I needed some clothes. But everybody was wearing masks there and everybody was 6 feet apart. So it was really good and really quick in and out. Anyways, I wanted to talk a little bit about bookkeeping. This is something I've been learning recently and I think it's a great topic to discuss. So the main reason that I got to this is because I took the responsibility of doing our taxes for this year, and then I realized that so many things were not being done right. Surprise! Anyways, we had been filing our taxes separately before because initially I was trying to go for the public service loan forgiveness thing, but since then I've refinanced my loans, and I really think it would benefit us most if we do our taxes together now. But so much of the paperwork was just missing. I am having to go back, dig things up from the whole last year, and nothing is in one place. So the way I manage my own things is using Google Sheets, and it's really easy for me to just go to my accounts and easily transfer stuff there. But with my husband, with having his own business and the real estate, it gets complicated, and then he's been using different accounts to manage things. So just trying to gather all that is just such a pain. So I'm trying to learn bookkeeping to make things easier for this year and for the years to come. And obviously, this is the reason we needed to get an extension on our taxes because I just couldn't find anything. And so to make my life easier, I think I'll probably end up using a software for his stuff. And I've looked into QuickBook, and I think that seems like a okay option. And then also maybe YNAB. So I'm also trying to look into that and see which one would work the best. And it really gets complicated when it's your own business because the taxes are not being taken out automatically. So when your employer takes out the taxes every paycheck that you get and they pay the taxes for you, but with your own business, if you're not keeping a track and you have revenues and profit, you could end up owning a lot of money at the end of the year. So it's always a good idea to have a really good accountant and to go over your paperwork with your accountant every 4 months. So every couple of months, just get an appointment, and it can be just 10-15 minutes, and just go over the numbers with them and see if you need to do anything differently to try to save some money on taxes or even pay quarterly so you don't end up with a huge bill at the end of the year. So for your own businesses, it's also really important that you separate your business from yourself. So you need to create an entity, and usually could be an LLC. And so this way you are separate from your business. If there's any liability from your business, then you're not impacted. And you basically become the employee of the company that you've created. Now, there are a couple of different types of corporations, and the S corp has the most tax advantages after you make certain amount of income. I think the number is about $50,000 in profit. But before that, even having an LLC that really serves the purpose as well. And C corp is kind of known as a double taxation, so you end up paying tax as an employer and employee. So that's usually avoided. And of course, always keep separate business accounts for separate business bank accounts from your own self, and that makes life a lot easier. And yeah, so meet with your accountant every 4 months if you have your own business. Keep separate accounts, create an LLC, and do good bookkeeping so you don't end up having to pay a big tax bill at the end of the year. So the other thing that I learned was the P&L sheet. So this is the profit and loss sheet. And there are a couple of terms that you really have to understand in order to do that. So the first thing is revenue. I used to think revenue is same as profit, but revenue is different. Revenue is the sales you make. So basically all the money that you generate by selling something. So this is called the revenue. It's the money when you sell a service, when you sell an item, and the money that you bring in is known as revenue. And then there's cost of goods. So cost of goods is the money that you spend to create or deliver the product or the service that you created. So this is different from the regular monthly cost that may be involved with business, like rent, like the internet or office space or other things. So this is really the, let's say if you were holding a session somewhere like a finance seminar or something, and then you had to rent that place, you had to hire people to help you with that. That's what's known as cost of goods. And gross profit is actually when you do revenue minus the cost of goods, and that's when you get the gross profit. So it's important for those who do have cost of goods, because then it helps you figure out what your actual profit is from the product that you've created. And then there's other expenses. So that's like all the costs that are not directly related to the product that you created. So this would be the internet, the laptop that you needed, the payroll, everything else. And then you have the net income, which is the gross profit minus the other expenses. So all of this terminology is really important to understand if you want to try to manage bookkeeping, especially for a business. And even if you outsource this stuff, even if you have somebody else managing it, you need to understand this to make sure that things are getting right. And it's always better to start it yourself. So learn to do it yourself. And then when you outsource it, you actually know what's going on, because nobody cares about your money more than you do, right? Like you're the most person who's going to be involved or who's going to care. So you have to really learn all these skills. So this is what I've really been busy with recently, and then also trying to find health insurance for us, because as I had mentioned that I resigned from my job and I needed to give a 60 days notice, and tomorrow will be my last day. So that's been a research. And then in middle of all this, I created an amazing financial course for you all. It's amazing value comprehensive course. This is something that I wish I had when I was like trying to learn all this stuff, like one source to go to and learn all these things. And I had to like really read multiple books and take multiple different courses to learn all this. But I've put it all together in one spot. So if you can check out all the details at wealthymuslimwoman.us/money. And I'll love to see you in that course, okay? All right. Until next week, I'll talk to you. Bye.